Hey everyone, so just before we get into the greetings itself, as you can probably tell by the title of the video and everything else, this full playthrough has once again been split into two parts, but this time I am going to try my best to actually keep it as two parts rather than ending up splitting it into three unless some insane things happen once again. So during this run we are playing as the Blorg Republic, and I thought this would be a simple run. We're playing with shared burdens and the agrarian Civic. We're an interesting faction to say the least, and I thought it'd all be straightforward. But instead, I got really involved with the galactic community stuff. It turns out you can go really insane with some of the bonuses, some of the stuff you can mess around with the internal politics of the galaxy, and it took a lot of time, loads of footage of it, and lots of stuff which I've never used before, so a lot of explaining and just talking about it. So hopefully this is going to be an interesting run for you as well. I have loved this run, and this is part 1. Part 2 should be out probably by the end of next week. This video alone has took over 40 hours just to get the footage for, and then currently I'm on my 3rd hour of editing and I'm still not yet done. So I really hope you enjoy it. A like, a comment, all that stuff really helps and shows that this long form footage, which does take a lot of effort, is worth putting on the channel. So ramble over, now into the greetings and into the run itself. Enjoy. Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Stellaris with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to our newest full playthrough with the Blorg Republic. Now, this is going to be an interesting playthrough, because I'm not sure if this is a particularly powerful empire in the slightest, and it's using 2 Civics I'm actually not a huge fan of, but I want to be proven wrong with them, and I want to see just how this plays out, because it will change up how we use the empire quite drastically, especially with the 2nd Civic. This Civic I have always avoided because I don't like how it looks when you first read it, but I do think it could be quite powerful if played correctly. Maybe. Perhaps it's utterly terrible, or perhaps it is the best thing ever and I've just been silly. I mean, generally it's normally the silly option anyway. So what are we? We are fanatic egalitarian, we are regular pacifist, we have shared burdens, and we have this here, the weirder of the 2 Civics. A simple and peaceful life can often be the most rewarding. This agrarian society has to a large extent managed to avoid large-scale urbanization. Generator, mining, and agricultural districts give 1 more housing, whereas city districts give 1 less. Farmers produce 2 amenities. Now, the reason why I think it is better than I first thought it was is because that 1 less housing from the city districts isn't that much of a big deal, and it really promotes going for a lot of basic resources very quickly, which means your empire can expand quickly, your economy is always going to be running quite well, and the amenities coming from the farmers is really nice as well. I do feel like we're going to avoid trade value quite a lot, especially in the early game, and we're going to essentially just sell food, because you can get quite a lot of energy if you are stockpiling that much food, and we're going to lean into that heavily with our origin. We have syncretic evolution, which means we have a secondary species, which is a little bit lacking in the intelligence department, just like me not being able to say intelligence there, but is really good at regular jobs. They are serviles, meaning they have plus 10% happiness, they're a happy lot, they get plus 10% resources from jobs, they can't be leaders, rulers, or specialists. So they're always going to be the working class, but they are going to produce a load of resources and be very happy about it. And then they are agrarian, so essentially straight away they are getting plus 25% food, which is really, really good. They are then also charismatic, which means they're giving more amenities as well. These are really happy farmers, but they're really pleasant to be around. Our next Civic is the Shared Burden Civic. This society believes in an equitable distribution of resources, making little to no distinction between the needs of the ruler and the ruled. All work together for the benefit of the whole. This allows for the Shared Burdens living standard, under which all populations have a moderate consumer goods upkeep regardless of their position, which means they're all expensive and they're all fairly happy. This also disables most other living standards, but it does allow you to have utopian abundance, which is unique to being egalitarian, which makes them incredibly happy. So that's kind of our goal, to get everyone under utopian abundance, loads of happiness, and the populations which have utopian abundance will give you science and unity if they are unemployed. Under shared burdens, they will give you unity, in fact more unity than utopian abundance. And they're not even unhappy. If they're unemployed, they're still just as happy as everyone else because everyone is taken care of in this society. At least that's the concept. So that's really good. Then we have +5 stability, which is great for our planets, just more resources being produced, and our pop demotion time is decreased by 45%. What this means is if there's a ruler or specialist, which are no longer a ruler or specialist because the job has been taken or removed, they will move down in jobs, so they'll become a worker or a specialist from their last position a lot faster, so they won't just be sitting there unemployed doing nothing for a very long time, which actually can be a huge issue later in the game. I found that as you're swapping up planets, you end up with loads of unemployed who are just sitting there for, I forgot exactly how long, but I think it's over 1,000 days, which is really irritating. So yeah, that's quite good, and as you can probably tell, I'm trying to make it sound better than I think it is, because I don't think it is really that powerful of a Civic. I also don't think this is that powerful of a Civic, but I'm really hoping the combination will make a really fun experience, which I do believe it will. I just don't think we're going to be a powerhouse. But on the upside, we are Fanatic Egalitarian, giving us plus 50% influence from our factions, so really easy to expand as soon as you have the factions. Going for things like megastructures will be good, and we get plus 10% specialist resource output, which is good all round. More alloys, consumer goods, research, all that good stuff. Since we're pacifist, we have less empire sprawl from our populations, that's why I went with unruly for our syncretic species, and it also increases our stability by an additional 5. So we're getting plus 10 stability just as a passive. Our planets are going to be producing a lot of resources. Our main species, the Blorg, are sedentary and weak. I mean, look at those little noodly arms and the fact they are just blobs. I imagine they don't really want to move around too much. They are intelligent, conservationists, and natural engineers. I really want to rush and try and get ring worlds and everything else, because ring worlds can give us loads of farms. So I think, I know it's silly, because once you have so much production in one type of resource, you can't really keep on selling it for loads and loads of energy, because its value plummets. So I think the minimum is like just over 1,000 energy for 10,000 food. So the ring world with food is a fun option, but I think we still want to go for ring worlds and a lot of megastructures, because potentially the amount of space we have is going to be limited. Remember, we are pacifists, and we are fanatic egalitarian, which means we're not xenophobic or anything else. We don't have the influence from authoritarian straight away, so trying to expand early on is going to be difficult. I'm actually going to grab the Ascension perk to make that cheaper, because of how difficult this can be. And once we have our space, we're locked in, we're pacifists. The only war we can do is a war to change another empire, civics and their ethics. That's all we can do. We can't go to war to grab their space, unless they are a devouring swarm or something, in which case then it's contain the threat. So expanding early on is going to be our main priority. I think if we get a good start with this empire, we're going to be very powerful, but we do have the potential to be very weak until we can start with megastructures, with habitats, with stuff like that. Originally, I wanted to go with materialist, but you do need to be fanatic egalitarian for shared burdens, and you do need to be pacifist for the agrarian civic, so we're kind of locked in. Now, bear in mind, this empire has some parallels with the real world, as you can probably tell, with the flag and the naming and everything else. I will try my best not to go too heavily into that as I play, but, well, this is the voice of the empire.
Automation, open access, shared wealth. With these we shall unite the stars in song. Workers of the galaxy, unite. You have nothing to lose but your restraining fields.
Giving a few hints what this empire is all about, and most likely we will be waging some wars to turn other empires into us, with the same ethics and the same authority, because that way we can join everyone together in a glorious galactic union. So with that, the glory of the Blorg now enter the galaxy with their ideals of equality for all taken to the very extreme. Going to be setting the endgame start year even earlier than usual to 2,275, meaning the very earliest it can spawn is 2,325, because of course 50 years later. This could potentially become very difficult. Again, I'm not really too sure if this empire is that powerful. Let's go with a spiral galaxy. I never go with the spiral galaxies. Okay, with all that, make sure everything else is set correctly. Max difficulty, high aggressiveness. Soon, we're going to be setting this to the minimum. Not right now, but very soon. A max difficulty run may be on the horizon. But for now, we bring equality to the galaxy. And so we begin near the center of the galaxy. For those who want to read the backstory of the syncretic evolution, well, there it is. Feel free to pause the video now. So, what is our battle plan then? What is our goals here? Well, ultimately, we want to form a federation because that's going to be our strongest way of getting fleets. Our start isn't going to be particularly powerful. Our influence gain is quite literally the least we could possibly have. It's the minimum with no bonuses whatsoever until we get factions, so we do need to be very careful with how we expand. So I do want to try and get as many worlds as possible. I'm tempted to go into World Shaper. The reason is, we don't have access, I believe. Yeah, we don't have access to the Arcology project, which means we can't get these city planets, which is going to be a big issue because we're going to be using up a lot of consumer goods, and they are fantastic at making consumer goods, though we will be able to make ring worlds. So the ultimate goal is to have ring worlds and to have Gaia worlds. We're going to have quite large populations, and our raw resource output is going to be incredibly good because we've gone down the route of syncretic evolution. If we take a look-see here, for instance, our normal Blorg, which I've just realised I haven't renamed, which means these have the default name, and by default name I mean the oh no, the filler name I put in there just briefly. We have Mouth Lads and the Waivers. This is the default, this is just a randomised name, but I called them Mouth Lads because I couldn't think of a name last night when I was making this empire, and whoops-a-daisy. The point is, these are going to be producing lots of resources, so yeah, loads and loads of basic resources are going to be produced. Then later on, we will get a decent amount of specialist output because of Fanatic Egalitarian, and what I also want to add is this, Meritocracy. An individual, social station, or personal connection should have no bearing on their profession. The sole basis of advancement in this society is demonstrated ability and talent. You are placed where you do best to better support the whole, plus 10% to our specialist population output. So, lots of specialist output later on, good raw resources early on, and that's pretty much everything we have to go with. We are all about population growth, so we are going to go down the route of genetics so that we can get fertile and really push that to its limits. So, let's get started. Extra research is good, that's what I wanted, the extra population growth speed, and let's go with that because that could unlock robots. We definitely want robots, once again, to improve our population growth. Although it is only, of course, the machines, we don't get more of our own. Okay, so there we are. Going to be downgrading our corvettes to give us a chunk of alloys nice and early on. Going to be selling everything we have, though, to begin with, so we get more minerals. So that we can make more alloys. There we go.
Ships upgraded.
Now, although we are Fanatic Egalitarian, I am tempted to turn off migration. The reason is, if we have migration allowed, first of all, we are sedentary, which is weaker with that. Our immigration is a problem. It means that our first worlds will develop a little bit slower because they're going to be sending populations to the new worlds. So that's what I'm tempted with. But the problem is, I do want these on pretty much all of our worlds, and if I don't have this enabled, they're going to be stuck since you can't send them in colony ships. And we're going to have... There it is, resettlement. This is going to be prohibited, so I can't just move them. I might need to activate this as well, but the problem with doing this and the whole migration thing is that's going to annoy our factions. Our egalitarian faction is going to be our main faction because we are Fanatic Egalitarian, and with that, we really want all that lovely, lovely influence. So, not sure what we're going to do there. Resettlement will make life a lot easier, especially since we are growing these fellows, the lovely mouth lads who can't be specialists, and we could run into a problem where a world simply randomly grows too many of these, and then all we have is raw resources and no specialist output. Rather than mixing them up, so don't know, we'll see how that goes. So, sadly, our precursor is my least favourite of all the precursors. We have the Ute Empire. Now, these give us the ability to have one additional colonist start off on colonies, and its active effect, I believe, makes ships cheaper for a while. That is their upkeep. It is, in my opinion, the weakest relic, and the least interesting of all the empires, so that is a real shame. Going to go with expansion first. We want to grab Reach the Stars. Normally I'd rush for New Life, but I really want to expand as fast as possible. So, celebrate diversity, celebrating the diversity of the galaxy. There's a lot of aliens. It's pretty cool. Now, sadly, we don't have Map the Stars anymore because of the new edict system. To unlock Map the Stars, we need to grab... Nope, we need to grab Discovery, and even then, it's not quite as good as before, since we have the edict limit. And I want peace festivals, and eventually, once I have enough food tech, I would love nutritional plenitude, so that we can get loads and loads of more populations. Also, you're a really good leader. Let's swap you out for one of these. Let's go for you. And then you can be you, that's fine. So you've got a new job, you've been reassigned. Yeah, just plus 10% to everything is, in my opinion, a lot better than plus 15 in a specific.
Anomalous readings detected.
Changed my mind about the initial building, instead we're going with the monument for some additional unity. The reason is, I haven't gave my species a rapid breeder, because I'm going to be rushing society research, at least that was the original plan, and we're going to be going down genetics, so we can quickly give them rapid breeder. So instead, I had traits which will buff the initial 29, well, 28 I believe we started with. Either way, the initial population we have. I'm now thinking that may have been a bit of a mistake, since I really, really want the population to get off the ground as fast as possible. So yeah, maybe the whole trait which increases that might have been a better idea. So let's rush some society. The monument will give us both unity and society research, which is exactly what we want. Yep, we're going to go with 2 of them, in fact. Really push it. Creating our first colony ship now for our first world, a 20-size Arctic world, which is nice. We then have a 16 over here. Sadly, no rare resources, but that's fine. Got a lot of science vessels, because I really, really do want to find the precursor stuff as fast as we possibly can.
Anomalous readings detected.
And I think I am going to limit migration, which I'm not a big fan of doing right now because of our empire type, but it's fine. It will just annoy our factions quite a lot. And I'm going to allow resettlement. We know what's best for our people. We truly care about them. At least that's what I'm going with here. I mean, we do care for them. We are giving them a fantastic life and everything else. We're not exactly being evil or cruel to them, really. We just are working to a certain amount of years plan. Already found alien logs. That's really good, because that's going to be...
Complete.
Ooh, lovely. Because that is going to be... the Rubricator. Being distracted by the things there, as you can probably tell. I wonder where it's going to be. I'm hoping it's really close. Sometimes it can be a little bit far away.
Special inquiry concluded.
And... good, nice and close. So it's over here. This will be the Rubricator. So you, new plans, go over there. That's what I'm going to set you to in a second. Just need a bit more influence. Colony ships don't get enough credit since you don't see them enough, but look at that. That looks awesome. Just really, really cool. We've had the Old Gods event, and from that, Revelation. We're going to be suppressing the findings to increase our influence, so we can spread a little bit faster.
Analyzed.
Just realised, didn't actually look at the whole shared burdens living standard. So, shared burdens. 0.4 consumer goods for 5% happiness. If they are unemployed, they still give unity and don't have unhappiness from that. Okay. Utopian abundance, though, is kind of the goal. Make our people as happy as possible. That will mean our stability is just insanely high. Plus, if we have any unemployed, they give us unity and research. There's whole builds built around that, how powerful that can be. But if you don't use it properly, then it's just incredibly expensive. So for now, we'll just, of course, stick with shared burdens. We're already having problems with consumer goods because we've rushed unity. You know what? Let's actually grab coil guns in case we need to defend ourselves early. Having at least one upgraded weapon is so, so nice that early on. Also, having all this extra resource early on has been fantastic. Well, poop. Oh, that's been really annoying. So these are the militant isolationists. If you build in the system next to them, they will attack you. So we are basically blocked now from this way. On the upside, it means that's one more choke point I don't have to concern myself with. It seems like this is completely blocked off as well. Just means we're going to have to skip this system as we go for the Relic World. We still want to go for the Relic World as soon as possible to get that up and running. Extra research is extra research. Okay, we have expansion finished, so let's figure out what ascension perks we're going to be going for. For once, I'm actually going to be quite orderly here. So I do want Interstellar Dominion. It's useless later on, because we can't even make claims being pacifists, or at least we can't use them. But the Starbase Influence cost modifier is so good so early on, and because we are pacifist, we're kind of stuck with how much space we get early on. So the more space we get, obviously the better. So Interstellar Dominion, Technological Ascendancy, Engineered Evolution, Evolutionary Mastery, World Shaper, because that would be awesome, Defender of the Galaxy, that makes 6, and then Master Builders and Galactic Wonders. I would like Xeno compatibility, but you need to be a Xenophile for that, which won't work with our Ethics and Civics. So, yep, Interstellar Dominion to begin with. Next, I'm tempted to go straight into Discovery so that we have Map of the Stars, though at the same time, Harmony is really good, Domination for more influence. There's so many good options here. And we do want Diplomacy because we do want to form a Federation, a Galactic Union. Okay, you go ahead and grab that. I was going to grab this for the minerals, but I do really want to go towards the Relic World as soon as possible. Saying that, though, this is pretty much guaranteed that we're going to get this, so maybe I should start expanding this way. You know what? Yeah, let's start doing that. Let's start expanding in the directions where we're not guaranteed. All this space here, we're pretty much guaranteed to get because there's no real way that other empires are going to get in here unless they go past us. We can always just close our borders. We have a new leader with a new mandate. The first mandate was just to get plus 30 on our mineral income, which obviously we did very easily because we're very good with our raw resources, and that gave us 6 months worth of unity. The next one is the Orbital Research Mandate, which is easy as well. This is one really nice thing about being a democratic nation. Every one of our leaders has a mandate. If you successfully do that, you get 6 months worth of unity at the end of their term, which is really good for us. Okay, let's just increase our food income, since that also increases our amenities. I don't need that right now. Now, one other thing to note is that there are some really interesting things we can do in the Galactic Council. There's some new stuff which I haven't really tried before, which is all about resources from planets at the cost of their habitability, which I really want to push, along with all of the worker rights stuff. Since that is the whole point of our empire, I do want to roleplay it quite a bit. The only thing I think I'm going against that really is the resettlement thing, and that's just, well, it's our state being a bit corrupt. I mean, look, our ruler is an investor, which is interesting for this type of state. Anyway, the point is, I do really want to work towards making our workers as happy as possible, just all of our populations really happy, and that's the way we're going to do that. The problem is we're not particularly good at that with our envoys, so I might need to, when I reform the government, the original plan was meritocracy, but we could go down the route of diplomatic corps instead, which will increase our diplomatic weight and the amount of envoys we get. Kind of want both. Sadly, not possible. Okay, our first world. And there's going to be a slow growth because we're not allowing migration. Yep, but I do want at least one mouth lad there. So I'll throw you over. That way you can start growing as well. So I do want a 50-50 split of the two species. And the good thing is, whilst they're unemployed, they do produce unity. So I'm tempted just to leave that then. You know what? I'll leave you like that until the housing is a problem, then I'll make agricultural districts. Unemployment is not a bad thing in this empire if you want early unity. Okay, then let's go with Discovery next. All of them are good, but yeah, I really want to rush some of these things. Our faction leaders aren't particularly happy. We are getting a good amount of influence still, purely because we are fanatic egalitarian, but the problem is you really want free movement changed. So if I put that back, it means you're going to be happier giving us more influence, in fact a fair chunk more influence, but I won't be able to move the mouth lads to the new worlds. Thus we're going to have worlds which are just going to be these fellows because of the whole migration thing. I could turn off migration controls for you once I'm able to, but then what's going to happen is the population growth on the main planet is going to be really slow, and I really want some of these buildings up and running as soon as possible. I never know what's best here. I think for now I'll leave it as it is, but if influence becomes a serious problem, then yeah, we'll swap over. Okay, the relic world is size 20, fantastic. I always end up getting really tiny little relic worlds, so that is a lovely change. Oh, and we have found a science vessel. Okay, we found our neighbours, must be somewhere over there. Just going to grab this system then, and then we're going to continue along this path instead. Whoa, you are annoyed. Why? Oh, we allow purging? Did not expect that. Oh, displacement only. Okay, so let's turn that off. Anything else? Refugees. Welcome. That'll affect some of them. Not this one particularly, but okay, they're all mildly happy. Now you're happy. Oh, look, all refugees welcome. Called it. Warriors. Where are you? There we are. Okay, so upside with this fellow is that they are xenophiles. Downside is they're going to call us cowards. Yeah, pacifist cowards. So let's send over Taboo, daughter of Tag, to smooth things over a bit. We don't want to fight. In fact, we want to be quite peaceful early on. Later on, we'll show them the error of their violent ways through, violent ways. But, you know, that's in the future. Mining drones just out and about, having a bit of a walk, you know, doing their constitutional. Just going through our systems. I mean, they're passive, so sure. We don't really care. I mean, we are still slowing down the growth of our main planet by sending one mouthflat each time, but that's going to be it. We'd have to do that to every planet. For instance, the Relic World, I do not want them there, because we're going to need just specialists, and more specialists. Well, finally, we needed more housing here, so we are going to finally give these fellows jobs. So, goodbye to that lovely extra unity, but that's fine. We are going with the agricultural district because it's giving us additional housing, it's giving us food, of course, but it's also giving us amenities. We're probably going to have very few city districts, so let's have a look-see then. Clerks give us 2 amenities by default, and these give us 2 by default as well. Okay, it's only higher because of their job, since they are charismatic. Yeah, it's 2.4 there, and 2.4 there. Good to know. We're going to have so much food.
System resources analyzed.
Excellent. Already getting machines.
System resources analyzed. In progress.
Sure, our borders look like a weird colon, but at least we are here just in time to get past the Alliance. Hopefully there's no more empires here and we can continue to expand. We've kind of been dodging the other empires, and we even have a defensive pact now with the Warriors. The Warriors will defend us, for they see our way of life, our humble agrarian life, to be pleasant and worth respect and protecting. Let's ignore the fact that at some point we're probably going to try and convert them into our way of thinking, but, you know, for now, it's a lovely relationship we have. Friendship. Okay, so far we've been able to coast with our alloys and everything else by selling food, but now that is becoming a bit more of a problem. Our admin cap is about to be fixed, so no worry about that. But what I'm trying to do is send over colony ships to these kind of planets as much as possible. The ones where we have low habitability, we land there, and then we send the colonists back, essentially making populations. That's why suddenly everything here is messing up. The problem is we need more alloys. You know what? Sure, you can go there. Is your name Mick? No, Merc. Sure. Merc. Sending a colony ship down here as well. Okay, let's see. Just more food for now, since... Actually, no. We do want to push a bit more unity, so I am going to try and keep unemployment as much as we can until we absolutely need to move it away. Remember, not only are they producing unity, they're also not being unhappy about this. Their happiness stays put, since we are still caring for them. Well, it may have cost us all their energy, but I'm very glad we're friends with the Artist Enclave, because now we have the Ministry of Culture. This thing is incredibly expensive, also I said culture very weirdly then. Essentially, it gives us plus 15% unity on the planet, along with giving us loads of culture worker jobs similar to the monuments.
System resources analyzed.
A really, really nice building to have. Our other research, though, is really struggling right now. Almost all of our research is purely in society. Which is okay, though. Most things we want to begin with are in there. We are going to shift heavily into engineering later, but right now we need the Unity, and we need the Society research. Also, I need to send another construction vessel down here. So we're continuing to kind of worm away from our capital up here. Looks like we're kind of just spilling. And yeah, it seems like we managed to dodge most of the empires. If we keep on getting lucky, we won't see any other empires, and we can continue to move this way. Kind of going in the center of the galaxy here. We were very lucky to make it past the Alliance. They don't like us, but they don't hate us enough to go to war. Plus, we do have a defensive pact currently with the League, and eventually I would like a defensive pact with the Commonalty as well. We're very close. The only reason really is because we're quite weak and we're a bit further away. But having a defensive pact with both of these would essentially mean, although these two don't like us, they're never going to attack us. Well, here's something to note. You are from a desert world, aren't you? Well, a tundra. No, never mind. I was going to have a migration treaty with them, thinking they were from the desert, but no. Because we do have some worlds down here which are arid and such. I think. We have at least a few, don't we? Yeah, we have a few here. No, we'll just leave as is for now. I would much rather just keep the main species. We have 2 of them to care for already. Hey, good in Alpine world. Huzzah for selling loads of food. And minerals. So when you make a new colony and you send back all the colonists, they are instantly specialists, because that's what the initial jobs are on a colony. This is normally a big problem, but since, of course, we are shared burdens, with minus 45% demotion time, and I don't know if that is increased even further if they have the shared burden living standards, because it says here, but it's quicker. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It turns out that that's so effective, it's hardly even a problem. As you can see here, it only takes 128 days, and then they'll be demoted to a worker if you don't have the specialist jobs. That's really good. What on earth is this? Yep. So this was once home to a powerful advanced civilization. Then there was a violent struggle, and now it's a ruined star system. As you can see, there's plenty of shattered worlds and everything else here. And then a single guardian, a single battleship here defending it. Annoyingly, that is really far away from us, so we'll probably never be able to get that system and figure it out. Well, Stellaris continues to have things I have no idea about. Oh, yep, there's an old star base as well. I mean, that looks really cool. Well, we've had a pretty good start. From being able to expand down here so aggressively, we've been able to skip all the other empires, and so we have free reign of this area of the galaxy, which is really good for us. The problem is, though, and it's a pretty big problem, our allies will not be able to really get in a federation with us. The reason is, they want wars of aggression. We can't allow that because we're pacifists. It's still potentially possible, but it's going to be a lot of effort and a very long time, which means we won't be able to rank up the federation as much before the endgame crisis, which obviously is a very big deal. These fellows don't hate us as much as the other ones, but yeah, still can't make a federation with them. So I was going to put this in diplomacy, but instead I'm thinking either harmony or prosperity. Extra specialist output, merchants, less upkeep, that's all really nice. And then with domination, we could go with extra influence and extra worker output, all really good. With harmony, less food consumption, so even more food to sell. Extra stability, so we get more of every resource. I think I'm going to go with prosperity, though honestly any of these 3 I'll be happy with right now. We can finally activate the edict I really wanted the whole time, which is plus 10% growth rate at the cost of 25% food upkeep, and plus 10% empire sprawl, which I think is new. At least that's only from populations, but still pretty brutal, but the extra growth rate is nice, and it now lasts until cancelled with the new edict system. Does cost 160 influence, though. Also finding a lot of worlds we can't inhabit, which is kind of annoying at this point. On the upside though, our economy is now nice and balanced, and yeah, we can keep on sending colony ships over and over again, so we are getting a lot of free population. Our home world is now at 50, which is pretty good at this point, honestly. How much is our allies? 44. I honestly expected it to be a bit higher than that, but okay, that's fine. Oh, of course, we have been sending out the mouth lads to the other worlds as well, so actually it's better than it looks. Okay. Oh, and we found the scavenger. Oh, no, too late. I can't save the scientist. I should have just paused it then. Please escape.
Science vessel destroyed.
No, last second. Darn it. More and more influence. Fantastic. We've been very lucky with the influence gains, honestly. Not so good with the stored research this time around, but that's okay. So on one of our worlds, we managed to find machines, some rudimentary robots. So our scientists asked to see if we could find out where their missing makers were, and all we could find is this. Deep in their memory. Feel free to read it if you wished, simply pause the video. Overall, it doesn't look particularly good. So I'm a little bit worried about this planet. So, the good thing with doing this is we can choose where the populations go, and I'm trying to get all of the first colonies up to at least 10 populations, because then they have regular growth speed. So this is the relic world, here is 2 more colonists for you, destroying the original colony. And all is well and good there. Do I even need more buildings yet? I will be building more research buildings there afterwards, okay. Which world did I just destroy? I need to pay attention a bit more. Guessing one of you two? Not you. So was it you? Yes, it was. That is the one good thing with having the Ute as our precursor. They will increase how many populations we get when we make a new colony, so doing this is actually a little bit more effective. The problem is, I can't find any more of the precursor artifacts. I've got really unlucky with them. Our empire is so bizarre. So things are happening on the robot world. Erratic planet-side behaviour. A streak of unexplained civil disobedience is sweeping across... Oh dear. Yep, as you can see, confusion, sometimes violence. We are currently trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
System resources analyzed.
It's a rage virus. A contagion caused by an airborne virus that affects the fundamental neurology of victims. The remaining team has scrambled to develop a vaccine.
Construction finalized.
Well, not as fun as the feral behaviour one, which ends up with lots of good things. Is there something we need to do here, or... Okay, we're still researching. I'm hoping once that's finished,
in progress.
it'll be fixed.
Enemy troops have made planetfall.
Okay, by the looks of things, we're about to lose... No, we're not. We're not going to lose the world. Our regular
System
defenders are
resources
strong enough to attack the
analyzed.
enraged colonists.
Special inquiry concluded.
Okay, there we go.
Scientific progress attained.
The vaccine is now in place.
Invasive expropriation repelled.
Do we need to actually use it? Because it said the vaccine was done then. You'd think so. And we got some free tech.
Incoming.
So that's nice.
Discourse anticipated.
The galactic community is now here, and so let's take a look-see at what we're after then. We're after this here. In politics and culture, the greater good. These things are all to do with the workers being a lot happier and giving them more political power, which is great for me. Also eventually even bans things like the stratified economy, the basic subsistence, stuff like that. And eventually, everything except for shared burdens, utopian abundance, chemical bliss, and mandatory pampering are banned. That's how powerful that gets, and that's really good for us. So really, really happy workers. Each time one of these is added, it increases the happiness and the power of them. Even the stability of the planets. Now, on top of this, what I also want is this. Industrial development. Now, this is an interesting one, because it starts off a little bit, you know, not all that harmful. Here's some more power to your economy. Here's some more worker output. All good. A little bit of minus habitability, but not a big deal. It ends up with this. Minus 25% habitability, loads more minerals, loads more alloys, loads more resource from your workers. You can probably see why I really want this to pass through. Now, the reason why the habitability is less of a problem for us is because my goal is to turn all of our worlds into Gaia worlds, which have maximum habitability, and I think will actually counter the minus habitability here. So, we want this all the way through, and we want the greater good all the way through as well. Our people will be happy and productive. But first of all, yes, I do want to support the galactic market. So how expensive are these then to put these through? And which ones do I want more? I think the greater good is a really good one for us straight away, just worker happiness, but this gives us more of an immediate benefit. So you know what? I'm actually going to pay for that and put it forward. We now need to focus on getting more political power. Okay, all I'm going to do is throw all of these into the other world here. Wow, both of you have pre-sapiens? Do you have one as well? No. That's interesting. But there we are. So this homeworld already has... This world here in Trappist has 6 population already. And then I'll send some more colony ships to once again do the exact same thing. Pop down 2 of those. And you know what? I'll actually use the clone vats. We do now have access to clone vats because we have engineered evolution from finishing off prosperity. So now we have rapid breeders on our basic species, which is nice. Finally, we've hit 1k research. I'm building a very small fleet of my own just to add to these defensive pacts to stop the Alliance from becoming aggressive towards us. So far, they haven't attacked purely because the defensive pacts makes our combined force strong enough to repel them. But they have made some claims on our systems, so building up a few cruisers just so we have a bit of a basic fleet just to add those numbers. Also, this is some serious border gore. But we're doing well. Our population is increased quite a lot, and it continues to increase. With our tech now at 1k, we're not doing fantastic, like the best I've ever seen. But at 2,266, that's not actually that bad. I'm surprised. And it's because we have so many worlds, and so many of them are being fed all these populations constantly by all of these consistent, what you call, colony ships. Words are just not my friend today. You know what? This Empire type is actually very easy to play. The sheer amount of raw resource from the syncretic evolution, from adding the agrarian civic, which means all your housing is coming from the raw resource district, so you're building more of them anyway, is really nice. It's a very simple playstyle, and I think you could actually be aggressive with this if you swapped out pacifist. Oh, but then you'd lose agrarian. No, you probably wouldn't be too aggressive. You could be aggressive trying to force your ideals on everyone. You could probably do that. Maybe swap agrarian for something else, keep shared burdens, keep everything else. I don't really know, but yeah, it's been fun so far. It's been probably not all that much footage, but it has been fun. Oh, hello. Oh, sure, I actually like you. Ooh, we could join your federation. We could leap into your federation. That'd be perfect. Well, there we go. The very first stage of industrial development has now passed. So, we have the regulatory facilitation. Next, we want collective waste management. And we just need a little bit more influence to put that forward. Yeah, I would like to put that forward as soon as possible.
Discourse anticipated. Together we will build a brighter future.
Oh, actually, maybe yes, because you're the other part of the Federation who doesn't like me as much right now. No, I just need the influence. I really do. We're just under 4 influence per month right now. It says 3. It's actually like 3.75. But more would be good. Oh, right. So I can't actually put this forward for quite some time. In that case, then, the greater good. Oh, it's already been proposed by someone else. Fantastic. Where are you? That would be Charter of Workers' Rights, which we'll, of course, support to try and put it a bit further ahead. And I've just got a new envoy, so I can go ahead and do that. Fantastic. So we have a little bit more power to try and push these ahead. The workers of the galaxy, unite. You have nothing to lose but your restraining fields. Ooh. Hello, you found the amoeba's home system. No, not the amoeba. Oh, look how tiny they are, the little space whales. Oh, that is adorable. Where is this? We must protect it. I so want this system. I need this system. Oh, look at the marauders in the way, though. Oh, I guess we could go around. I mean, there's quite a few things there we want, so... Oh, no, we'd have to go really around. Yeah, we have no chance of getting that. That's a shame. We have finished off domination, giving us more influence, and now we're going with... evolutionary mastery. The next thing we want, then, is going to be the ability to turn all of our worlds into Gaia worlds, World Shaper. Probably going to go with Harmony next, then, more stability for our worlds and everything. Been a very peaceful playthrough so far, with our horrible, horrible borders. Now here's a question, what's more efficient, just allowing the populations to naturally grow on the planet, or to keep on sending the colony ships and then dismantling the colony once we get the 3 populations? The problem with keeping them is that this does add to the Empire Sprawl. This is a colony, and thus you have a colony worth of Empire Sprawl added, which is a decent amount. Currently have 20 colonies, which adds 75. even though we do have the minus 25%. So normally then it would be 5 Empire Sprawl per colony, and the populations aren't really doing anything, they're just eating away. Well, they're producing a little bit of food, but not really doing anything other than just sitting here. You instantly get use out of all 3 if you move them, and you have to keep at least 1 here once you've made the colony if you want them to grow naturally. I think it is still best to move them, though soon I will just leave them because you are getting close to being able to terraform. In fact, right now we could terraform this into an Arctic world, but I'm just going to wait until I can turn it into Gaia worlds. Now unlocking the final version of the Blorg, now correctly named. So we do have this, the social pheromones we got recently from a bit of an event, the alien box. So what do we want to give them now? We want them to have fertile, definitely, plus 30% growth speed passive is fantastic, and less housing usage. They can use so little housing. Maybe habitats would be good for these. Anyway, definitely want that, because that's more research, the extra leader level cap, which is nice, but most importantly, any leaders with this trait get additional bonuses like extra research speed. Obviously really important. But then, what do we want after that? I would love to give them robust, but that would require at least 2 more negative points. I mean, sedentary doesn't really affect them, so that's fine. Weak isn't really a big deal, so it could go like that. Giving them, in my opinion, the 3 most powerful, unless, of course, you have own populations, in which case these 2 can be really fun and rather mean. But this makes them all round just really good. 5% resources from everything as a passive, extra habitability, extra leader lifespan, which is really good when combined with this, because then we're going to have leaders with really high levels, which just stick around. Yeah, I think that might be the right thing to do. Is there anything better, though, than weak? We don't want to give them quarrelsome, we definitely don't want to give them wasteful. In fact, we're going to be losing conservationists for this, which I'm kind of upset about. Don't want to give them deviant. No, I think this is what we're going to stick with. So that is the Blorg. And then, what's going to be our final version of the Mouth Lads, which I'm going to keep as the Mouth Lads. We could actually remove their servile state, but here's a question for the comments. I think I've asked this before. Would removing serviles be mean, or would it be good? Because, yeah, we're increasing their intellect, they're now going to be our equals. That is fantastic, obviously a laudable thing to do. Or is it? Because without all the intellect and everything else, although they are going to miss out on things, they get plus 10% happiness. They're completely functional, they're a part of our society, they're loved, they can do everything really, they're just not all that intelligent, but as a passive effect from this, they gain additional happiness, which might be just something built into them, so we are removing something from them to give them the intellect that we see as being the next step. Would it be mean to do that, or would it be best to just leave it as it is, leave them in their servile state? Because we are treating them just like every other society member. We're not looking down upon them, we're not doing anything else. They have every opportunity that they can possibly have. Of course, they can't be specialists or rulers just because they literally can't do the job. We could just make them nerve stable, no. So, for now I'll leave that, but I don't really know. So, I'm on the fence about that question, because half of me is like, no, of course, they should be more intelligent. They should be able to experience everything the galaxy can have to offer, at least to our level. And the other half of me is thinking, but they're happy. Do you know how difficult happiness is to attain? So I think this is the finalised version of the Mouth Lads: conservationist, servile, robust, and fertile. Now, because we can finally mess around with planet preference, we had to get this to get the advanced traits, well, to at least unlock the Ascension perk for that. What we could do with all the worlds we're currently colonising is finally leave them colonised. All we need to do is mess around with the Blorg which land there. The Blorg which land there, we can simply swap the preference over to the correct one. So if they're on a tropical world, we give them tropical preference. If they're on Arctic, well, we already have Arctic, but you get the idea. If they're in a desert, they like deserts. Or desserts, depending on how dyslexic I am on the day. Either way though, that's that finished version, that's that. Let's do the Blorg first. Collective Waste Management is now up in the Senate, and it looks like it's going to be passed. Minus 5% habitability, but we get plus 5% alloys and plus 10% minerals. We are going to be now going heavily into alloys with all of our new colonies. The original colonies are probably going to stick with tech, which is finally increasing. We should be getting 3 to 4k by the time we're in 2,300, which is good because there's only 25 years after that before the endgame crisis can spawn. Yeah, I don't think I've played this particularly well, gotta be honest. It's been a lot of fun, though. It's been fun trying to focus on these type of things. But yeah, we could have done this better, I think. Though saying that, I think this Empire wasn't particularly the most powerful either, so it's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything will be absolutely fine. I'm sure of it. Lathrix is fine. So with this, though, that will help out a lot. And I've also now went ahead with our worlds. So if we go to, let's say, the tropical, as you can see, 100% habitability, because now our people have been correctly modified. How is there one which is incorrect? Oh, that's being edited right now. Yeah, okay, so most of them have been correctly changed. So we have tropical and tropicals, etc. And because they have the huge habitability bonus, all we need is one set for each type of these worlds. So tropical, ocean, and continental all just have tropical preference, and when combined with robust, they have near enough 100% on every planet. So it's nice and easy, and once again, we are going to be focusing on turning these into Gaia worlds in the very near future.
Scientific progress
And
attained.
so, collective waste management is going to pass. Though lots of them just stopped having support at the last second, it still passes. Fantastic. So what's the next stage? And the next stage is building a better tomorrow. Fantastic. Worker output plus 7.5%. Planetary build speed increase. Just overall, really, really lovely. So do these actually stack? I'm assuming they do. So we should see 2 of them then for our workers. It's hard to say. It doesn't split them up. Just has the Empire bonus. There's probably a way to find that out. Feel free to tell me how, because I honestly don't know. Either way, even if it doesn't stack, we still want to go down. I'm just hoping it does, because that would be awesome. How about habitability? Can we see it there? No. Yeah, so that is the problem. We can't really see if it is split up, at least in the ways I can see. Okay, so this has still been proposed, still hasn't made it to the top yet. This is why we need more power. We are currently the most powerful in terms of diplomatic weight, but still not quite enough to force these things through. We really need to make the Galactic Council, we need to be part of it, and we need to start using our influence to force things to the front. I really, really love the Mollusk-style battleships. Definitely my favourite of all of them. I think I'm probably going to end up going quite carrier heavy. I've just bought some alloys so we can make at least a couple of battleships to increase our diplomatic weight. And as you can see, our alloys are already increasing and more buildings are going down even now. There we are, we now have World Shaper, so our worlds will now become Gaia worlds. Not costing as much as I thought as well, which is lovely to see. Straight away, though, activating terraforming gases. And we still haven't activated one of the edicts. Now, the reason is, I'm currently saving up influence still. Because I still haven't got our 3rd Civic. We can already do this, I just haven't done it yet. This is going to, of course, be Meritocracy. Just been so many other things we've had to use all that influence for. Lovely, lots of stuff to sell, which means we can have loads of our world straight away being changed. Let's go with the more populated ones first. That'll be that for now. Quite a few of them already going. In about 10 years, we'll have loads of Gaia worlds. Well, actually, far less than 2 years. Again, far faster than I expected.
Has progressed.
Lovely, and I've been saving up for that as well. In fact, I have 53 artifacts, so we can start doing this every time on cooldown. And straight away we get a good item. Oh, it's the Nourishment Center. Okay, that's one of the worst ones we could have got, but still really good. Some of the outcomes can be rubbish. This is one of the Fallen Empire buildings. Essentially, it converts energy into food, which, now I think about it, might be utterly worthless for us, because we're constantly selling food, so food's worthless in terms of how much energy we get from it. Okay, it's a cool thing, but not particularly useful either. We have become federated into a galactic union with the Mutual Assistance Partnership. Catchy. Catchy name there, lads. Either way, though, the good thing is I can put both of these into here to help you out. So we are already rank 3, so what does that mean for us? More Federation capacity in terms of the Navy. Not really interesting, not very interesting, not interesting for us. Ship speed is increased by 10% while in Federation space. Wow, we get almost nothing yet. Now, the important thing is, though, these, level 4 and level 5, will both give us 25% extra damage versus the endgame crisis, which, by the way, could arrive in just over 25 years. I'm totally ready with my 25k fleet to deal with the millions of fleet power about to be destroying the galaxy. Yeah, I'm going to be doing just fine. Oh, God, look at our borders. Oh, thankfully, there's very little we're currently spending our influence on, so, yeah, let's continue to build up our borders. Our allies have done the same thing, though. What is with us? We're just here to make the galaxy ugly. We have one secret goal. Oh, dear. Okay, so on the Senate floor... Oh, did that last one pass, then? Yes, it did. Okay, Charter Workers' Rights has passed. That is fantastic. Our workers' happiness has increased by 5%, and the diplomatic weight from population has increased. Workers' political power has increased as well. That is within a world itself. Yeah, the happiness. That's fine by me. By the way, full 100% happiness for our people at the moment. We are building an actual utopia. 100% happiness. They could literally not be happier. If they were happier, they would turn into a happy potato. That is how happy they are right now. So, yeah, I think we have succeeded with just happiness. We have achieved happiness. I mean, come on, that deserves a point. Wait, I can kick you from the Federation? That seems weird. So, how do you get new rulers? Oh, wow, that is rubbish. Okay, so currently there is no Federation fleet, which I'm not happy with. Succession type is currently rotation. I'd much rather it be challenge or strongest. Vote weight equal. So this would be okay, right? Because I'm voting for it, so is the United Chim Assembly. So this would pass, yeah? It doesn't need to be a complete one, although I could force you to agree. Oh, no, I can't. Well, let's see what happens if I do this. Though, as we get more cohesion, this should be allowed anyway. Let's see what happens. And it passed. Excellent. Okay, so now there is at least the bare minimum. We could have just jumped straight to medium, honestly, but low is fine for now. This will pass as well. So now there's going to be a navy. Not under our control right now, but that's fine. They don't want a challenge. Okay, so this is probably because right now, yeah, the cohesion's very low. So we'll just leave this as it is. But at least now there is a Federation fleet. I want to move over to this soon because we are... Oh no, currently we are the strongest. Okay, good. Of course we are. We have the most diplomatic weight in the galaxy currently. And that's almost purely because we have so many populations. And a good economy. A good economy, loads of populations. Our tech is doing okay now. We're still not ahead on that, but still. Majority of votes is probably best for both of these, but I'll leave that. In fact, no. Change war declaration to majority. I've been here for like a day and I'm just doing all of this. They're like, oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I would love these two. Strongest, obviously, is what I want because it means I would gain control. But unlike some of the other federations, it's not so important that we control this. Of course, it means we have the Federation fleet under our direct control, but we're really here for Stronger Together rank 1 and 2. Sorry, Stronger Together and Galactic Peacekeepers. If we can get both of those, that's all we really need.
War declared.
The first set of our worlds have now become Gaia worlds, giving plus 10% resources, plus 10% happiness. Because they needed more happiness. Actually, look, some of the specialists are not the happiest bunch. Why not? What's wrong? I wasn't looking at habitability earlier of happiness, was I? No, I couldn't have been. I was looking at that. Either way, that's great then. 100% stability anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you are that happy. We have completely perfect stability, so maximum resources and trade value. Yeah, these Gaia worlds are going to be really powerful. We also are now getting 4 housing from our agricultural district, still 3 from the others because we managed to get the tech, which simply increases that. Lovely. And of course, we need to continue to change all of our worlds into these little paradises. Well, here's an event I haven't seen before. Pieces of an ephemeral puzzle. Various research stations across our empire have detected subtle distortions in hyperspace, centered upon the starbase at Zun. Isn't that our homeworld? 2 seconds. And yes it is. The effect presents in real space as localized aurora, which starbase inhabitants describe as brightly colored gaseous tendrils enveloping the station. Furthermore, our allies in the Mutual Assistance Partnership, TM, report similar phenomena in their capital systems. President Fura, son of Metu, has called for an immediate and coordinated investigation into this matter. Sure, each member of the Mutual Assistance Partnership will be tasked with a special project, a joint effort to find what links these phenomena. Begins the Flux of Cloud event chain. Okay, we should have a researcher right there. Yep, good, a high level one as well. Go ahead and start it off. Hopefully I'm not the only one doing this, hopefully everyone's doing it. So stage 1 is complete. Our investigation of the aurora-like cloud at Zun raised more questions than answers. Distinct tendrils of cloud form whenever we beam communications to our allies' research teams, but only then. Their deep brown hues seem unusually opaque, they obscure much of the starscape one would normally see from within the starbase. On our own, we are unable to discern any further meaning from these behaviours, but the Mutual Assistance Partnership expects to have more answers once every member's results are collated. I can't say the words. Early theories propose these dimension-spanning entities somehow harmonise with our hyperspace communication bands. This accidental lure could be kept in place in order to further exploit the entity for study. Or we could switch frequencies in hopes of dispersing it. I want to keep it here. I want to see what we can get from it. So now we need to wait for our allies to do the same. Where is their capital? There's their capital. Hopefully they'll have a science vessel going there soon. Can't see anyone nearby, but let's hope. I would like if we did finish this. It'd be really sad if we didn't. Oh, wow, so you can actually really see them. Yep, that is pretty intense. And I'm assuming then that's happening at everyone's capital. Maybe. Difficult to say. Since we have all the other effects going on as well. I don't think so, though. Maybe that's only happened since I've finished the tech. Maybe. Well, hopefully the allies will do it as well. Again, it would be kind of sad if we finished off like that, and then nothing came of it. Well, we'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Finally bothering to uplift one of the species, which gave us loads and loads of influence. So, which of these are we going to pick? I'm tempted by the research bonus. This is 10% to our researcher output, but researchers cost 1 energy extra as upkeep. We could have peace festivals, increasing happiness, which is awesome. There's loads of other things we can have. Extra envoys, which is really nice. Oh, just 1 extra envoy. Available envoys plus 1. Okay, that makes sense. I was reading that weird. We could increase our growth speed. We do still need more population, and that is a fantastic thing. But that would increase our empire sprawl and be super annoying. It's only by 10% for the populations, but still. I think the extra research, yeah, let's go with that. The dismembered cloud. The data we have is incomplete, but is enough to suggest we have encountered a single being, gaseous in form and adapted to dwelling in hyperspace. Project coordinators theorise that various parts of the cloud became snagged on our capital star bases whilst it drifted through the galaxy. It appears to have wanted to reconstitute itself, but without a united effort on our part, some of those clouds have begun to lose cohesion and may no longer be able to rejoin. Wait, but without a united effort on our part. Oh, okay, so perhaps our fellows have not all chosen the same option, or perhaps not everyone has even done the research. Or perhaps that's just going to happen anyway, and may no longer be able to rejoin. Those parts of the cloud which did reunite soon vanished into hyperspace. What remains continues to provide researchers with interesting telemetry on matters relating to hyperspace. So for 72 months we get plus 10% physics. That's nice, but not fantastic. Really cool event though. I love the event itself. It's just the reward is a bit it's nice. I prefer the event for the, what's the other Federation type? The one where the President basically controls everything. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now because I'm doing a derp, but that one essentially has you all make a statue to the leader, which is really, really interesting as well. I love the fact they're here though, just a nice little extra thing, so overall, I'm happy with that. And yay for extra research for a short while. We finally have a world which has the feral spores. So with these, this population is going to become our gas producer. Oh, and it's on a tiny world, which is a shame, because less population could be here. But on the upside, we could quite easily give them something like Utopian Abundance and just focus completely on housing, so each of the building can become housing or something like that. But for now, that gives us some specialist gas jobs, and we have a large population. Oh, the pop growth speed increase is not as strong as it used to be. I think that might have been nerfed. It used to be like 200%, didn't it? Or at least over 100%. Well, still pretty awesome. Might start moving some populations there. As soon as we have any world which is overpopulated, I'll be throwing them over there, so we get some additional gases. Throwing them over there. And get in there! Okay, and you're done. We're very nice to our people, by the way. I'm just not good with words and explaining things, you know? We can now build the Science Nexus. Okay then, how expensive is it to begin with? Only 5,000, that's exactly what I wanted to see. So you just stop doing that, and let's build it here, right next to the capital. I want to build some habitats in the capital system, that's why I want to build this next to it. And once we've completed that, we can then grab Galactic Wonders, which will allow us to unlock the Ring World, the Matter Decompressor, and the Dyson Sphere. Or we could go with Master Builders, increasing the megastructure build speed. Probably not. Probably would rather go and straight away have the extra energy, the extra science, the Ring World, just everything else we want. The Galactic Council has been formed, with the Blorg Republic leading it. Or at least being the most powerful here. Now, I could instantly emergency measure and get this in. It would also cause the cooldown to be a bit faster, and I would really like to get the next few steps of these done as fast as possible. It looks like this is going to pass. It has enough support. This is building a better tomorrow. Yeah, that is a really nice increase for pretty much everything for us. You know what? Yeah, even though it is already on the way, I am going to emergency measure and get that into the Senate as soon as possible. Yeah, looks like it's definitely going to pass.
Missionaries engaged.
The death of the Matriarch. Now, originally I was going to let this poor thing just, you know, be and not chop it into tiny little bits, but the needs of us outweigh the needs of you. At least I think that's how the saying goes. In which case, I wanted this Gaia world. There is a size 24 Gaia world and a size 19 continental world, which she was defending, which of course should be in the hands of the people. Our victorious fleet circles the dying Matriarch, her glowing flesh scored by countless blast marks. The violent thrashing of her tentacles, still trying to grasp at nearby ships, first slows, then draws abruptly to an end. At last she expires, the ancient Matriarch laid to an end, like her would-be hunters before us. Or so it had seemed. Our fleet captains are reporting strange movement coming from the belly of the beast. Something is about to emerge! And then from the belly of the beast, there's an angry cat. So feel free to read this. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the ship, so... You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and take both the ship and the captain. So, there we are. That was somehow inside that, by the way. Don't ask, just Stellaris scaling like always. So, we have the Ahab. Small plasma cannons, devastator torpedoes, whirlwind missiles, and a tiny little Stormfire autocannon. Wait, that's in the large slot. Wait, you can't have the autocannon. Excuse me. Okay, we don't actually have the autocannon unlocked, but that's definitely just the regular autocannon, just randomly in the large slot, right? Am I going mad here? It looks like the stats are the same as the regular autocannon. Either way, this thing hunted the whale, it got eaten by the whale, and we saved it from the whale. There's a clue in the name of this thing. But like I said before, the main reason why we're here is because I really, really want that system. So, science vessel, get your butt over there. You're about to finish off doing that, so finish that, then go over there, then that's 2 more worlds for the Republic. Can I put our new leader in control of our main fleet? Oh, I can. That is dangerous, because this fellow is, interesting. Extra fire rate, extra weapon damage, extra sublight speed, minus 5% evasion, minus 33% combat disengagement chance. It's gonna hurt to have him in charge, but it's gonna hurt everyone else a lot more. So in total, plus 20% sublight speed. That is really, really good. Now, of course, our other leader, if we swap back, does have this, though, which is plus 5% fire rate, and then plus an extra 10% chance to disengage. So it's kind of the opposite of this one. Still really like that, though. That's a lot of extra damage. Not sure. Either way, though, sadly, it seems like I can't merge these fleets, so this ship is going to be on its own all the time, which is a little bit annoying, to say the least. Well, for now, the 2 ships have swapped, and they're both just going to be returning back to base. On the upside now, though, I can start building gateways, which of course I'm going to do soon. At least 1 gateway down here and 1 at our capital, because right now I have to go down all this corridor just to get from one to the other. Okay, I've decided we are going to be grabbing Master Builders first. The reason is, I really need to speed up the Science Nexus, so at least now it's moving along a little bit faster. And we can even get to work on perhaps one of the others. Now, one I would really like, which I normally don't go for, is this, the Interstellar Assembly. The reason is, it's max level now. In fact, it's level 2, it gives you an envoy. At max level, it gives you 2 additional envoys and plus 40% diplomatic weight. It means we can really force along anything we want, which is really good. On the upside as well, building a better tomorrow did indeed pass. So as soon as we can, we are going with this one, which is a bit more evil sounding. Environmental Ordinance Waivers. The galactic community should empower local councils to suspend antiquated rules that do not serve the public good and are simply blocking progress. I realise at this point, in our empire right now, we are definitely focusing more on the shared burdens and less on the agrarian one, but yeah, you get the point. But at the same time, we have also turned our worlds into Gaia worlds that aren't actually affected negatively by the habitability, so we aren't really harming ourselves, we're just empowering the people. That's what we'll say at least. Speaking about empowering the people, I'm going to put forward this, the 5-year plan. Agri-World generator and mining planetary designations gain additional bonuses. Oh, didn't even read that bit. But yeah, worker happiness is increased, worker political power increased, and diplomatic weight from populations is increased. The governors of our world should be given the freedom necessary to propose and enact sweeping reforms for the betterment of all. My dyslexia kind of kicked in a bit there. But still, yep, definitely want them to go forward. And I can't force it ahead for quite some time. Hopefully some others will also back it so it can be knocked up a bit. Because at the moment it's in the middle.
Scientific progress attained.
Oh, there we go. I need more power. The Senate needs to understand that I only have the good of the galaxy as a whole in my heart. Okay, I need to save up some influence then so we can start building the Interstellar Assembly site. It's very expensive. Could be building gateways right now, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer before that because, yeah, I want more of the other mega structures.
Scientific.
A change of plan. Turns out one of our wormholes goes directly into their territory. I was mixing it up with one of the other wormholes, which goes into our allies' territory. Turns out we have both. I thought only one. So, because of that, let's start taking some territory for ourselves. Ooh, loads of habitats as well. Lovely to see. Okay, ground forces, move through. It's time to liberate these poor, poor, misunderstood, and ultimately silly people. That's a shame that's already being occupied, because that is a Gaia world. It's a special Gaia world, yep. This will almost definitely go to our allies, but we'll try anyway. And you should have a general. Wait a second. Did I just have a leader from the plants? You can't be. You're serviles, right? Also, I thought I changed you all. Did I mess that up? I must have messed it up. Oh, I was messing around with all the others for... Okay, forgot to upgrade our plants.
Planetary workforce.
Still doesn't explain why I'm fairly certain I just saw a general from that species. Yeah, how? Malflads can't be leaders. Which sounds weird, I know, but still they can't. They still have... Yeah, every version still has serviles, cannot generate leaders. Is it just because I have the genetics now? Because I can remove serviles, has it lifted the limitation when it's clearly not meant to? Interesting. Yes, the system's ours. Wow, look at that. There's a 23 arid world, a habitat, and a 14 desert world. And we've also grabbed this, which has these fellows. So, you'll learn our peaceful ways of life. Otherwise, we're going to do peaceful things to you. Just peaceful things you don't want us to do. That sounds more threatening than I even meant it to be, honestly. That's what Slayer's pretty much done for them. Just a few systems left, and yeah, all done. Lovely to see. We need to keep on increasing our alloys, though. Now that we have 2 megastructures both on the go, that is very expensive. Okay, once that's done, we can add
Construction complete.
the Ministry of Production. Excellent. We're getting loads of new factions.
Workforce liberation.
Oh, that's annoying. Still, 3 populations. Looks like 5-year plan is going to pass swimmingly.
Planetary workforce liberated.
Oh, do we get to keep the system? Yes, one more world for us. All glory to the Republic. Okay, we're pretty much done here then. Let's go home. Again.
Scientific progress attained.
Should really start grabbing living metal now. Okay, gonna turn at least one of you into a shipyard. You can be destroyed, don't really care about you. Ah, but you're already a citadel. In that case, going to partially convert you into a shipyard and you're going to be destroyed. You're already a shipyard. I am so dumb. How about you actually look at what you got first? There you go. Wait, so you just stay as you are, that's fine. You can be a shipyard. Habitat, I guess, just our normals. And Desert World. Our desert version of the Blorg. Not much trade value on these worlds, which is good, because I don't really want them to have. What should we use them for? I'm just assuming, same as all the rest, lots of agricultural. I guess I'll just swap the city districts over to agriculture. And then start building them up. Wow, loads more worlds because of this. This was a very, very profitable venture for us. A pair of gateways now being created, one down here and one up here. The enemy endgame crisis can spawn in the next 10 years, which is terrifying. Hopefully we'll get lucky again, though. There has been times where it's been 50 years after the minimum before they've spawned in. Other times, of course, they spawned in day 1, but let's pretend that's not going to happen under any circumstance. And then if we're lucky, it'll be the Scourge. The best place for the Scourge to spawn will be here. I didn't really think about it with the whole arm thing, but there is a lot of choke points because of that. Didn't really consider that, but it is definitely a benefit to us, so I'm kind of happy I picked that now. Like here and here, see there's lots of places where we can quite easily protect our choke points once we have at least some fleet power. The worst would be the contingency, but I doubt it's going to happen since I don't think anyone's gone synth, including myself. The Unbidden would be bad. The Scourge would be, yeah, the best, so I'm really hoping for Scourge. I mean, I don't have jump drives yet, so even that's unlikely. We're very likely to see the Scourge, and the Scourge normally appear later on, so there is a good chance that it's going to be a late spawning crisis. Just because of how things are played out. Beautiful new world to be terraformed. We're turning your horrible little worlds here into perfect paradises. You'll soon see there's no need to purify others, especially when they're better than you. Greater Than Ourselves unlocks an edict that encourages unemployed worker and simple drone populations to voluntarily resettle themselves to suitable planets with jobs and housing within our empire. That's very interesting. In fact, that's fantastic. That's amazing. I love that idea. Okay, so 5-year plan is now active, which means Agri-World, Generator, and Mining planetary designations have additional bonuses. So what bonuses do they get? Oh, yeah, worker output increased. Oh, and farmer output. Wow, that would explain why I was just able to have way more food being sold every month. That is incredibly cool. First, I'm really leveraging all these things to benefit my empire, and I'm so glad I did. This is awesome. Leveraging. Words. Words. Okay, but the next thing we want, though, is definitely this. I don't think I can currently... Yeah, I can't afford it right now, but it's still on cooldown anyway, and I want the Ordinance Waivers. More alloys, more minerals, more worker output, more diplomatic weight from economy. We are once again at war through no means of our own. The Union over here is at war with the mega corporation to conquer. By the looks of things, they don't conquer the entire thing. Cats fighting cats. Once again, no need for us to intervene. Seems like our allies have pretty much got this. And this time we can't actually get anything from it. Soon stability will get better on these planets. Right now they're very unhappy because, you know, we've recently conquered them. Okay, our gateways are ready to go. So we have one gateway there at the capital and one gateway near this wormhole at least. The second one should be finished in a few moments. About 101 days, but a few moments for us. Our Interstellar Assembly is about to be finished and our Science Nexus is getting to the next stage. Obviously, I've been going very heavily now into more and more alloy production. In fact, I'm very, very tempted to convert our Relic World into the City World. That will cost us quite a bit of influence, though. It's the only thing which has been keeping me from doing it. And I've just proposed this. The Ordinance Waivers. The problem is, these are not the most popular thing, so I really need to up our level of diplomatic weight a lot faster than I originally wanted. Just more and more envoys over here, which is not going to be easy because our Galactic Union isn't particularly the most stable, and I really want this to level up as well, so too many things I want at the moment. Okay, now we can make maximum level habitats if we end up going down that route. Just thought I'd get a tech out of the way.
Together we will build a brighter future.
There we are, the first stage of the Interstellar Assembly. So this is giving us plus 10% diplomatic weight. The next stage will give us another 10%, and will also give us another envoy. Ah, right now it's so cute and tiny. Little tiny blob.
Our research has progressed.
I really do like the mollusk-style vehicles. Really should try and build a Juggernaut. So I've decided I'm going to slow down how fast we're getting supremacy. As much as that would be fantastic to finish nice and quick, right now I want these two ambitions to be up and running, more influence, and a faster build time with our megastructures. Let's get the Science Nexus and the Interstellar Assembly finished as soon as possible, and then the extra influence can be spent on other things as well. Science Nexus on its next stage. And now for its final stage. So right now it's giving us plus 10% research speed. At its final stage it'll give us plus 15. Obviously that's a very important thing for us to have. Our research isn't great, only 5k, but it is increasing. And as we get more stuff, it will start to snowball a bit more. Honestly, at this point in the game, normally I'd be thinking, you know what, we are on track to doing really well. But of course, I've been a dum-dum and I've set the endgame crisis 25 years earlier than normal. And normally it's set many, many years early anyway. So I am a little bit worried. I don't think I've done better than I usually do. In fact, I think I've done slightly worse. Partially because of the Empire type, but also I think I have played things a little bit weirdly with this. We could have started to try and focus on tech and stuff a bit earlier, and more of the late game stuff, but I was just having fun with the weird Empire type. Sometimes having fun has consequences. We are now also building the Mega Shipyard. Now that we have the extra influence and we continue to push more alloys, we can try and get all of our mega structures sorted as soon as possible. After this, of course, once Supremacy is finished, we can then unlock the Dyson Sphere, the Matter Decompressor, and the Ring World, all of which I want down as soon as possible. Loads of energy, minerals, and then loads of science and everything else through the Ring Worlds themselves. We have lots of systems to build them, and honestly, loads of choke points, so we can make some safe locations within our galaxy very easily, especially if the enemy is the Scourge. Then we can build some fortress habitats and try to just safeguard a small area. I mean, honestly, although our Empire is kind of all over the place, it's not that difficult to lock off, except this wormhole. I guess if you treat this wormhole the same as over here. So one choke point there. If the Scourge appear here, this is a choke point. If not, it'll be somewhere, well, all the way here. Then one here. So yeah, there and there actually cuts off all of this section of the galaxy. And then over here, we could just put down two. We can't, sadly, just put one down here because of the Fallen Empire will attack us. Then that completely cuts off this half of the galaxy except for the wormhole, so one there as well. It all depends on where the Scourge spawn. The Scourge spawning here, or weirdly somewhere here, is absolutely fine for us, because there are so few connection points. I have unintentionally made it a bit easier on ourselves by choosing a different galaxy type. That was just a last-minute choice, because I keep on using the same type of galaxy, and I didn't really think about it. I do like this, but I might just go back to the normal galaxy type in the future because it does seem a bit too easy to wall off. Especially versus the Scourge. I just bought a very interesting species. The Racket, who are psionic. Oh, that would be insane. Plus 10% from all research, and then plus 20. We're going to have a lot of you in our Empire. I'm now tempted... Well, if we build a ring world, we're sending you. I mean, our people don't really want to live on a ring world. They just want to live on their beautiful little Gaia worlds. I mean, that's the whole point of our agrarian style. It even fits in terms of the law. Then you can be conservation. In fact, no, you can specialize in physics, because I want the extra energy and the extra laser damage. I'm really banking on the fact we'll fight the Scourge. Saying that, we could go with Strikecraft. Strikecraft are good versus everything. And really good versus the Scourge. Because it can pair up with point defense very easily. Natural engineers. Conservationists. Okay, we need to start making some habitats or something to start growing these populations. It seems fairly weird to be speaking about them like this, but yeah, we want more of these. Psionic with the genetic bonuses is insane.
Genetics respecialized.
And they're adorable. Is it 150 influence for habitat, or is it 100? 150, right? Okay, yeah. Let's start making habitats then near the capital. These will house the rackets, and these will be research habitats. Now, it is a little bit weird using that market type because, well, think about the Empire type we are, and exactly what this is. But we are freeing them. I don't even know who's selling them. Which Empire here would have people to sell in that way? You're Xenophile, so it's unlikely, but not impossible. Your Fanatic Xenophiles. I'm not sure how Xenophile works with that. Oh, Authoritarian. Ding! Okay, I think I found it. It would also explain how you have some of our people. Yet, I think it's you. I think it's the Republic. The other Republic. The worst Republic. The Republic which is a bit meaner to their people. It could be you, the Commonwealth, but you're not really in a position to have any of our population. You're very weak right now. You want a federation, but we'd still beat you. You know, you lot have been here next. Oh, when did you become fanatic xenophile pacifists? That's not what you were to begin with, right? Yeah, I just looked back. Before you were militarists, when did you become pacifists? Well, that's quite the change. Why are you still hostile towards me then? Why do you hate me so much? Rivals with allies, allied to rivals. Okay, so it's not so much we dislike each other. I mean, really, we should have gone really well. It's just we have friends who don't like each other. Okay. You're still militarist. Okay, good. So we still have reasons to change you. If I impose ideology, you still stay in your federation, don't you? But if I impose ideology and don't completely take you over, so let's say I leave this world here, when we have status quo, what I've taken over becomes a new empire of that type, I believe. Might be wrong there. Sol? Well, you have Earth. Though it doesn't look like you have... No, you might actually have humans there. Yeah, not sure what to do there. I do want to at least change one ideology. It just seems right for us to do. Especially from the militarists. But now it seems like most of the galaxy are just far less evil than I expected. At least in our eyes. Ordinance Waivers is now being set to an emergency vote. And I'm going to cheat. Well, that's if we don't win. We can always call in favors. So it's less cheating, more friendly bribery. Which you might need to do. Seems like most of them, these two, are actually against it. And part of these two is me. Definitely the strongest out of everyone, but still. What do you think, Chim? Are you going to be on our side for this, or are you going to be against us? I'm hoping we can pass without having to do any of that, because that'll cost loads of influence. But if we get this, Forge, Industry, and Refinery Planets get additional bonuses. And then, of course, more alloys, more minerals, more everything. War has been declared, a war of ideology against the Alliance, an enemy which has been plaguing us since the very start. They are greedy, and they are aggressive. Our peaceful agrarian ways simply cannot allow this. Their people are suffering under such a horrible rule. Beautiful. 1 second, though. We are increasing our diplomatic weight. Just need a few more alloys. Also, did I see some Blorg then? Sure, let's just throw them there. Honestly, we should have started grabbing everything we can, just massively increasing our population. I probably will soon. Do not worry, we are about to free all of you from oppression. Are they actually going to head towards us? No, they're running away. Excellent. So we want everything except for this world. Ooh, where does that wormhole go? Why are they going down that wormhole? Follow them now. I have no idea where that leads. Oh. Well, I should have figured that out earlier. Don't worry, we'll be able to catch up with them and destroy them. How did I never discover that wormhole? I just... You know what? I've probably been staring at it for so long, it just became blank to me. Just became part of the background. It's okay, we can catch up. Plus, I have no way to retreat, so... Well, turns out they were trying to retreat anyway, so say hello to my fleet. Oh, at point-blank range. Not that great for our battleships, but still. Well, here's hoping our strike craft can deal with all this. We are losing health quite slowly. Weird movement by their corvettes there. Gonna take a while, but yeah, it looks like we've won this. Lovely. No, wait, no, I don't want to attack that world, so you can just sit there. I'm making some xenomorphs. What we need as well is some more just regular ships built in. I didn't think I'd built this many battleships. For these fights, it's not the best. Still, though, I do love Strikecraft so much. They're so fun to watch. Just the swarm. 300 in each research type, and plus 15% research overall. That Science Nexus is complete. And with that, the next thing I want then is... currently building the Mega Shipyard. Although these are currently highlighted, we can't build more than one of each, sadly. Except for a few of them. What I would love is the Coordination Center. Can I build that in the same system? No, I can't. Can I build it in the same system as the Mega Shipyard? That would be nice. Yes, I can. Go! Ah, I forgot I hadn't actually started there. Never mind. I'm afraid those alloys are going for the Mega Shipyard first. That's far more important. You know, I don't think this works how I think it works, and I think I'm thinking about a different war type and more certain of it. It's been so long since I've had a war of ideology in this game, so... I think I'm just not going to take the risk. I'll look it up afterwards, don't worry, so by the time this video is out, I already understand how it works. I'm just going to take over all the worlds and change them into a more peaceful ideology like ours. Of course, they'll still be part of their federation, so it's not like we're going to get much out of this, other than knowing that their citizens will be a lot happier in the long term. They're welcome. I've just saw something interesting. You there have the Void Dweller trait, which is incredibly rare to find in the galaxy if you're not starting with it yourself. This means as long as you're on a habitat, you get plus 15% output for everything, at the cost of minus 10% growth speed. You might be better than the rats if you're on a habitat. So the rats don't get the minus 10% growth rate, but they get plus 10% to research and plus 5% happiness, and plus 10% to energy credits. Most likely not going to be a big deal on habitats, since I'm probably not going to build too many reactor habitats. You get plus 15 for everything, essentially, at the cost of minus 10% growth rate. I'm assuming... ooh, we could also give you Fertile, which helps to counter that massively. Yeah, you and the rats are perfect for the habitats, but you might be better. The rats for the ring worlds, you for the habitats. Very tempted. So it's this world here, I think. Yep, so refinery world, plus 5% in output now as well, fantastic. So here's my question then. Let's have a look at the habitability on some of our other worlds. Bear in mind, we have loads of stuff to increase our habitability. Yeah, we are arid preference, but we do have robust, and yet we're not 100% here. What should we be? So we should be, by default, 60%, so it should be 90%. Then we do have all the increases in our tech. Bear that in mind. We have tech, which is increasing our habitability, which isn't shown here. And we're still at 90, so essentially completely nullifying all of that tech. Does it matter? No, because every world's going to be a Gaia world. Only one left now. Costs 300 influence, but the effects are insane and even has a special planetary decision that permits strip mining our worlds to uncover rich mineral deposits. Definitely want that, but the next one we'll go for then is Greater Than Ourselves, which unlocks an edict that encourages unemployed workers to, and simple drone populations to voluntarily resettle themselves to suitable planets. Basic subsistence and stratified economy standards are banned, which will actually make everyone else weaker. being in breach of galactic law means all of the penalties which have already passed will be applied to them. So yeah, we are going to weaken a lot of other people by going down this route, especially the last one. But this will increase our worker happiness and worker political power. It'll also increase our diplomatic weight from populations, which is great because our population is exploding. Also, it has now reached the point where the endgame crisis can spawn at any time, and I just about have 100,000 fleet power. Yeah, hopefully we get lucky here. That's all I'm planning for. Sheer stupid luck. Now, likely no one's going to help vote for this in. Which is a shame. So, may take a while before this gets into law. Supremacy is finished, and with that, we can finally get ourselves Galactic Wonders. So next time we get tech, we can unlock these. In fact, I might just go straight to them. Yeah, okay, matter decompressor. Don't think there's actually anything here we need, and then... Well, might as well finish the bonus armor, it's just about to finish. Then we can also unlock ring worlds. Just spent alloys building up some habitats, annoyingly, but you know, still. Also, the Mega Shipyard is now in its first stage, upgrading to its second. We're almost victorious now, just taking over the other territory. Not permanently, of course. We wouldn't do that. That would be mean. Strikecraft and energy weapons are the two things we've been upgrading, so this is what we're going to be using. And we've also been upgrading armor, so this is how the battleships are going to look for the time being. Greater Than Ourselves managed to get into Senate next because we had some help from the Chim Assembly. The two strongest empires taking on the rest of the galaxy here. And they're going to win. Oh dear. Can you please get back here? That'd be great. Isn't diplomacy great? What a lovely galaxy we live in.
Commencing workforce liberation.
Now putting down the matter decompressor. Oh, it does cause them to leave the Federation. Well, now you're friendly with us. Here's some association status. Would you like a commercial pact? Probably not, you know, going a bit too far there. We can't invite you into the Federation. Oh, just because of that. Oh, the other members are going to say no, though. Still, look, they're our friends. Pacifists and fanatic egalitarians. Well, they're not quite as far as we are, but you know. From militarists to this. Lovely. The world, the galaxy, in fact, is a bit more peaceful now, thanks to our actions. Changing minds and breaking bodies. So it turns out the reason why these fellas like us so much is because we are their liberator. Also, that raiding fleet is hostile to us. Is that raiding fleet heading towards us? It's just sitting there. Odd. But also, their neighbours, the other members of the Federation we broke up, actually like us as well. Quite a lot, in fact, because they've always liked us. It's just they were in a Federation with someone who didn't, which isn't the case anymore. It seems like now they've both got association status, soon enough they'll be joining the Federation. So what we should really do is exactly the same as we've just done, but with these fellows here, the League. Just upgrade the ships I currently have.
War declared.
Oh, never mind. War's happening. Oh no, the Commonwealth is attacking the Republic. No, we like the Republic now. Okay, in that case, we are going to declare war straight away, because that way we can intervene. Impose ideology. This will be at war with both of them. There we go.
We have a galaxy to win.
Go here and start defending. Second fleet do the same. So these two fleets here will hold off the Commonwealth from the Republic. Our fleet here, which I was going to get much more powerful before we attacked. You can instantly go here with our allies and try and take out the League. And then the League will break up with the Commonwealth, and then join us as well with association status. Okay. Then really all that's left is the Commonwealth and... yay, more Gaia worlds. The Commonwealth and the machines over here, which won't be part of our Federation, or at least be good friends with us. We are actually making the galaxy a peaceful, happy place of cooperation and love. Ugh. The first habitat's done, so of course we're sending in a colony ship using the Racket as our main species. And now what we're going to do is start building our first ring world. At least we will once we have the influence. That's the next thing we want to do. Where is it here? The ring world site is 300 influence. I'm not actually building any other habitats, am I? If I am, I'm more than happy to stop them. No. Okay, so just need to save up for a few months. Then we can build our ring world, which will be fantastic. Our Titan is making easy work of these systems. Our allies are attacking up there, our other allies are attacking around here. Everything is going
Together
according to
we will build
plan.
a brighter future.
And we're building a nice mixed fleet over here as well. That will take some time, though at least it is being built at the mega shipyard. So it's essentially 10 shipyards. That is to say, 10 of these shipyard modules, not 10 shipyard fully operational starbases. But you get the point. Okay, almost grabbed all of these. Last one. Can build some ground forces here and send them in a little bit easier. Let's go more xenomorphs. No need to risk our own civilians where we can make xenomorphs for the task. Greater than ourselves has just been passed, so now all we have is balance in the middle, and the final version, Universal Prosperity Mandate. Now this one's interesting, because essentially, if you're not egalitarian or rogue servitors, you're probably not going to be able to meet the requirements, and you're going to be in breach of galactic law. This one's already making it difficult. So this one right now, though, is really good. It even gives us a new edict type. We're not going to use this just yet, but it is probably something I might use in the future. Greater than ourselves. Encourages unemployed workers and simple drones to voluntarily resettle. That is really, really great, especially if we're going to be using a lot of habitats and ring worlds and everything, because it means I don't have to micromanage the worlds, and they will naturally migrate over to the ring worlds and everything else. So essentially what I've been doing already, but with a bit of free will, which is nice. So we're being a bit less mean. Either way, though, that is really good. The worker happiness has increased. Our diplomatic weight has increased a lot because we have a large population compared with the other empires. And the worker political power has increased, which is fine because our workers are very happy. So overall, that was a really lovely thing to pass. Now, the next thing we want to pass is... oh, wow, we're actually on the last one now. So this is going to cost 300 influence, and is the final stage of industrial development. It gives us a new planetary decision. It increases alloys, minerals, planetary build speed, and decreases how much minerals is needed to make alloys. Workers also get plus 10% output. Overall, this is insanely good for us. These two combined, we have a really good economy, and we have loads of population. These both buff all of those things. Our tech is mediocre, honestly, but our economy is looking fantastic, and it's only going to increase. We are going to have a very large fleet and a serious economy to back that up. So another thing we can go with is this. So currently we're going with the economy and with our citizens, but there is also the science options, and this one goes a little bit insane when it gets to the bottom piece. So, Unchained Knowledge. To begin with, it's all about the diplomatic weight from tech, which we like. It's all about the research station output increased, which is fine. In fact, it's very good for us. But then after this one, it goes a little bit more weird. It then starts to decrease the happiness of the workers, because, to quote the final piece of the flavor text there at the bottom, we do what we must, because we can. For the people who are still alive, you see the problem there, and it decreases the happiness of our workers by 15%, whilst increasing the researcher output by 10%. Normally, I would go for this, to be perfectly honest, but not in this empire. It just, as much as I've been quite bad at role-playing this empire at the moment, I just can't bring myself to do that. I can't lower the happiness. Why on earth are you unhappy? Why do I have a random, rather unhappy little, world here? Low faction... oh, ongoing terraforming. Okay, that makes sense. That's minus 20%. Yeah, our factions are actually a mess at the moment. As you can see, we've got some xenophobe factions which have crept in and everything else, so I am actually now putting together some things to try and get this to be a bit less, terrible. Keep the peace, defensive stance, all this I can swap out later on as well. This is because we're the ones who engaged in war, although it's for the future peace. I've essentially made our pacifists unhappy. On the other side, the egalitarians are still happy, the xenophiles are ecstatic, and the materialists, aka the scientists, are happy as well. But the militarists, xenophobes, spiritualists, and authoritarians, oddly enough, don't really like me all that much. There's not much I can do about that, I just want as many as possible back into the egalitarian and pacifist. Even though pacifists currently hate me, they will like me eventually. So I have activated Hearts and Minds, which increases the governing ethics attraction and increases ethics shift chance. And let's reactivate that as well. Eventually they will like me again. It just is going to take a while. But yeah, so next I'm definitely going to save up and try for the final version of this. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Look here. A new empire will be created as an ally or subject of the Blorg Republic out of the occupied systems. Oh, so maybe I could have settled status quo. Well, it turns out we don't really want that anyway, so that's fine. Huh. Well, at least we can end this war when we want to, and we still make a new ally. The Ring World is beginning. The Federation is now level 4, which means we get the first rank of the bonus damage to the endgame factions, which is great for us. It seems like taking control of this Federation is going to be out of our grasp, but that's fine. As long as we get the 2 25% damage bonuses, that's all that really matters. The first stage of the matter decompressor is online. Let's continue it. We don't really need minerals right now, but the thing is we are going to in the future, because I really want to try and push loads of consumer goods. If I can get all of my populations on utopian abundance, essentially that would mean 100% happiness for everyone, because outside of the ones who are in the really bad factions, as in the factions which really don't agree with our ideals, our happiness is like 80% already. So, we need loads more minerals. And so the final stage of industrial development is now being debated. Project Cornucopia, the Horn of Plenty. If this passes, our worlds will truly be worth their weight in gold. Or at least, minerals and alloys which can build ships which shoot lasers, and lasers are good and fun all round. Minus 25% habitability, which doesn't seem to affect our Gaia world at all, which is lovely. Loads of extra resource output and everything else. I don't think it does stack with the ones above it. I believe they all replace them, hence why all the stuff is the same. Plus 20, then plus 40, 40 is 60, etc. So this is the finalized version, giving even more weight from economy, less habitability, less upkeep for our alloy production, and most importantly, it gives us a new planetary decision, which seems really interesting. Strip mining the worlds themselves, whilst still keeping them Gaia worlds and allowing our agrarian people to still be agrarian. We're kind of giving everyone what they want and everyone is happy. The people who want to get the minerals and everything for the glory of the Empire as a whole can do so, whilst we're still keeping people in a perfect world with 100% habitability. We have managed to give everyone what they want. Welcome to Utopia. The Coordination Center is now at level 2, and we're going to be leaving it like that for a while, though. As much as it is annoying to leave it just before max level, I do need the spaces for more megastructure builds for the ring world itself. We're a little bit late with the ring worlds, honestly, because how slow we were with tech, so I do really want them going as fast as we can. The anchor's still upgrading, okay, so that's going to take up 1, so we can build 2 at a time, 2 sections at a time. That's almost done. Okay, how's this going? Oh, wow, and no one wants this. Makes sense, though. We are destroying worlds. If you haven't made them Gaia worlds first. Honestly, silly people. It's their own fault, then, really. If they really cared, they would have made their worlds perfect. Yes, I'd like to continue the deal. Goodbye. Almost achieved war goals. Finally. Took so long because this empire had so many systems. These were gone in seconds because all of our allies just rushed this one empire. The Commonwealth, though, is just me and, yeah, the Chim Assembly. I like the Chim Assembly, because they like me. And they vote with me, normally. Except right now. We're going to need to call in favors, but I'll do that at the end. So I can increase it by 27,000 straight away. Whoa, this might be a problem. We might not be able to pass this. Well, we are continuing to get stronger, and I can throw more of our envoys over to the galactic community at the last second. I've already changed our diplomatic stance to cooperative to increase that, so we'll see. The frame is complete, so now I get to work building the segments.
Construction complete.
Our allies are taking out some marauders, we continue to take more space. And over at the Senate, I've used up all of my influence so that we're just about winning the vote. I still may need to call in more favours. But we're about to get victory, though. And here's the thing, with status quo, we actually own, I think, every single one of these systems. I just don't think we have every single one of their worlds. So potentially, I could have just grabbed the worlds, and I think status quo would have gave us everything. But I was allowing my allies to do that, and they were very slow at taking planets. So I think this took longer than it had to. Why is there a question mark? Who's the question mark over here? Wait, have I never investigated you? Well, oh, hello. Oh, dear. Well, we've just awoken the Great Khan. We are strong enough to deal with that, but still, yeah, we're plenty strong enough, it's fine. Huh. Can we have victory, please? Thank you. That's annoying. Okay, there we go. So they are now the same as us. They are hostile, though. Let's check. There we go, to friendly. Association status, no, because they don't like one of the other members. That's a shame. But at least they'll be friends of us. Yeah, let's get our fleets together and just deal with that straight away. We don't want them destroying our new allies, do we? Do you have any finished fleets? Yes, we do. Okay, move on, please. We have been able to build a lot of fleets in the background because our economy is just fantastic at the moment. Oh, good timing. We just gained control of part of the Federation fleet, because now we're in control, I'm assuming. And, well, they're about to be lost. We have one more envoy, which is nice. Ooh, that means we could actually increase our political power if this doesn't go through. Oof, that's a lot. It's a lot, and they'll gain more, but right now, we still have more than they do, so... yeah, get everything together, and hopefully we can fix that. So where is our Federation fleet, anyway? Well, if you could just get here, that'd be fantastic. It's a very small Federation fleet, we're not really spending much of our navy on it. Giant space worm has been transferred into the ring world with fragments from its home world. Oh yeah, of course, the ring world destroys all the worlds around it. Ah, fuzzy fur and gentle demeanour, these endearing creatures have become an instant favourite with the workers, who are far away from their families and often very lonely. A shocking revelation happens in No, better not disturb them. I want to see what happens. This may be terrible, but they're adorable. A shocking revelation. To everyone's amazement, the ring world has erupted into a flurry of colour as thousands of space worms, or as it seems, larvae, are transforming into butterflies. Likely, the change has been brought on by the generation of an atmosphere. Unfortunately, celebrations have been cut short by the discovery of a subterranean network of tunnels in which the worms were caught feeding off the remains of several missing workers. Ah. Oh dear. Construction has been halted till the creatures have been exterminated, but we expect swift results as the workers are highly motivated. The true nature of the worms has been revealed. Good riddance. Oh dear.
Transmission incoming.
Oh yep, there we go, that's definitely been halted. Well, that was a problem. Good to know, you can't trust giant space worms. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? I'm afraid you represent a threat to galactic peace and must be exterminated, for the greater good of the whole.
Construction complete.
Burn, baby. We did lose the fleet over here after doing some serious damage. Excellent. The matter decompressor is now on level 2. However, what I want to do, rather than get it to its next level straight away, is I really want to upgrade the mega shipyard. Because we are producing an insane amount of ship power at the moment. Fleet power. We are producing a lot of ships. I merged everything into one there. That's not the Khan's chosen, is it? That fleet. Don't think it is. No, where's the Chosen then? The Chosen, aha, there it is where the Great Khan actually is. That can't be it, right? The smaller one? Oh, no it isn't. Okay, for a second I thought it was. The Great Khan is in there, so that's what we're going for. Fire the lasers, release the strike craft. And ultimately fire the pew 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 pew. We've got very lucky with the endgame crisis, by the way. It's still not appeared. We have quite a few fleets, but we need the tech as well. As much as I do say that, I am also obviously going very heavily into just making more and more and more ships. The ring worlds will be our tech. Everything else will be just insane amounts of alloys, consumer goods, and energy. Well, minerals and everything else, but ultimately producing energy. We have finished with our resolutions, at least in terms of industrial development. We now have Project Cornucopia completely online, which is giving us access to this. Strip mines this world. Near endless resources are at our fingertips. It adds +4 mining districts and +5% minerals from jobs, at the cost of -20% planetary habitability. So of course I want to see if that's actually going to affect a Gaia world. So to do that, we'll pick a mining world like this, and we'll activate it, and we'll see what it does. There we go. It's now in effect, and yep, still 100% habitability. No matter what we do, 100% habitability will be the default of our worlds. And our mining worlds are going to be insane. More districts, which obviously is the most important thing there, but then also a passive +5% minerals. The description is obviously bugged at the moment, but you know, it tried.
Together we will build.
Well, we have pretty much destroyed all of the Great Khan now, so that's pretty much done. Well, not all the Great Khan, all of the uprising, the Marauders' awakening. I need some sleep. We've destroyed the Great Khan. I mean, we kind of have done that as well. Ooh, who are you at war with right now? What? Can't everyone just get along? Don't make us attack you again, because we will. Can't believe you're even fighting. You have the same ethics now. Wow, so this is the opposite of the industrial version, the Paradise Initiative. That is pretty brutal, honestly. Extra food from jobs, extra happiness, extra population growth speed, less amenities usage, but then the negatives are horrendous. -30% alloy production, -50% minerals from jobs, terraforming cost is doubled, planetary build speed -15%, clear blocker time +200%, and diplomatic weight from economy -100%. Never going with that. Never going with that. Divinity of Life. This ends up with this, which isn't that bad for us, honestly. I do like the idea of the consumer goods being reduced, the consumer goods upkeep, that is, since it's very expensive for us. Extra happiness for all of our people, great. The robot stuff, I don't really care about that much. It's just the spiritualist ethics attraction, +50%. You know, that isn't actually that bad. I don't really mind. I was against this, but now I'm reading it. Actually, I don't really care about the diplomatic weight from tech, because our economy and our military are our main things. Oh, and of course, our number of citizens. The tech is nice, but it'll affect everyone, probably me least, because I'm so heavily invested in the others. The minus upkeep is great, And the extra happiness is fantastic. You know what? I'm not going to be the one who puts it forward, but I will start promoting it. Which is weird. I mean, our faction's already a mess. I've slightly got them back under control, but they're going to continue to be a mess. Can't really stamp them out very easily since we are egalitarian. If you're authoritarian, you have loads of ways of stamping them out, but we don't. Well, we got somewhat lucky, it seems. Subspace echoes. Not that lucky, though. It's still fairly early. So, several of our tracking stations have picked up peculiar subspace echoes coming from somewhere in the intergalactic space. The echoes are faint, but getting stronger, and they seem to be approaching our galaxy. Once again, we have the Scourge. So, as you can probably tell by the start of this video, the title and everything else, I have once again decided to split this into multiple parts. This time, though, I am guaranteeing I'm only going to split it into 2 parts. That is, this first half when the Scourge has not yet appeared, and the second half will be with the endgame crisis present. The reason is, I've just been looking back at all the footage, and I've realised, wow, that is way too much footage for us to possibly cram into one video, outside of it being like 4 hours long. Currently, we have around about 38 hours of footage, and yeah, even just a bit of editing. I've noticed I've been doing a lot of stuff which I normally wouldn't be doing, a lot of stuff with the galactic community, testing out of all the different ways that all these work with the agrarian civic, the shared burdens and everything else, so lots of stuff to explain and explore, and I would end up cutting way too much, and that just wouldn't be worth it in terms of the video, since I want to share the experience of this run in at least somewhat of its entirety, not skipping loads of it. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Stellaris is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Part 2, and I promise this time it will be the actual finished run in part 2, will be out probably by the end of next week. It does take about a week to get these videos together, sometimes more, sometimes less, but the editing itself can take a day because, as you can imagine, loads of footage. So thank you so much for watching. Please be patient. Part 2 out as soon as possible. Along with From the Depths Episode 1 of the campaign. That's being done soon as well. Lots of stuff which is very time consuming, but lots of stuff I absolutely adore recording. So thank you for watching, and goodbye. That was rambly. I need sleep.